women from all walks of life, from different stratas of society, different cultural backgrounds, they all have a basic need, right? And that is underwear. Why? Because when we menstruate, underwear is the most essential product, right? In order to use a sanitary pad. So when it comes to underwear, we should all have equal access to it.
Preeta, you started this amazing brand called Wear Equal. And first I read it as We Are Equal, and then I said, wow, did she do it deliberately, or how did it come about?
The way you are reading the brand, a lot of our customers and a lot of our followers have also initially read it like that. And yes, it was deliberate. Our brand is essentially an underwear brand. So we just wanted to give out the message of equality, and especially with respect to a garment like underwear. So it's just the concept which is there, reflected in our brand's name.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So you are saying that an underwear is gender neutral.
Our underwear is basically not about gender neutrality, but it's actually, we believe in the philosophy of intersectional feminism. Women from all walks of life, from different stratas of society, different cultural backgrounds, they all have a basic need, right? And that is underwear. Why? Because when we menstruate, underwear is the most essential product, right? In order to use a sanitary pad, it's such a basic need product, but there are a lot of women, especially in the rural and remote areas of India, who don't have this access. So our concept basically, it started with that knowledge, and then we wanted to build a brand, a social business, which would cater to such segments of society as well. So when it comes to underwear, we should all have equal access to it, and that's exactly what we mean about wearing.
Could you give me a little insight on the numbers, in the rural parts of the country, like how many women don't have access to underwears? I'm guessing some women might not even know there's something called an underwear.
It's so weird that we've been having so many statistical inquiries into menstruation and menstrual hygiene products nowadays. It's become this new thing, and there's a new boom in the market about of new menstrual hygiene products. So you see so many new brands coming up with reusable cotton pads, biodegradable pads. Everybody's making pads, but there is no data on how many of them are actually, do they have even a knowledge of how to wear pads? Do they even know that to wear pads you need to wear an underwear? So to be very frank, I don't think there is any statistics, any recorded data as to how many women have access to underwear, because there has not been any study about it. It's like a common knowledge, like if you go to the villages, or even if you go to the semi-urban areas, some areas where most of the informal workers, they reside, workers from the informal economy. So there it would be common knowledge that, oh no, we don't wear underwear the whole time, but yeah, when we menstruate, those 5 days we use underwear, and otherwise we don't. So these are these revelations that you get when you go to the field, when you go out there and you venture out. This simple fact that without an underwear, all these big schemes of providing, sanitary napkins, yeah, it would not really do any justice to this. So yeah, there are no statistics, but I'm sure now if we can start talking about this simple issue, then we'll be able to get some.
So tell me, how does Wear Equal sort of contribute to this cause of lack of underwears, or lack of knowledge of undergarments amongst the rural?
underwear is a product, and we need to start treating it like one. Wearing underwear is a habit, it's a practice, and it needs a certain amount of push for this behavior change to come,
Okay.
so that women can actually want to buy it, women want to invest in it. They,
Cultural change then.
yes, absolutely, a kind of cultural change, it's kind of lifestyle change actually,
Right.
to be very honest. So so it needs to be purchased, or it doesn't have to be something out of charity. So then I thought that then the best thing is to come out with a brand. And if you're talking about brand and if you're talking about entrepreneurship, that means that we also need to make it profitable. So
Right.
we started off with a commercial brand and with a hybrid business model, so that commercially, whatever profits that we generate from the commercial sales of our brand, we can utilize that into making a low cost underwear, a subsidized underwear that we can distribute and promote in the rural areas. And so far, we have done some work in the rural areas of Nagaland. We have conducted a pilot research, and we conducted interviews. We understood the barriers, the gaps, and we will be launching our low cost underwear most probably by the end of next year, because we are right now in the R&D of it. So we will be doing that. So far, this is how we plan to go.
So, from the R&D that you've done amongst these rural women in Nagaland, tell me what are the top 3 insights that shocked you?
So in Nagaland, what came out was that they are essentially, they do have the awareness about underwears, about menstrual hygiene. However, they have a lack of physical access. So what we have done is we have divided our study into different kinds of access. Access doesn't only mean that you will have a lack of money, so it's just about economic access. So when it came to Nagaland, top 3, I would say, first was that they lack physical access. They are at such a challenging, situated at such a challenging terrain that they will not be able to access it even if they have the money. Second was that they are not really able to get the benefit of schemes. So all these schemes which are promising, all these sanitary napkins, yeah. So they're not really getting the benefit of that.
Right.
And one positive thing which I saw was that the government over there has still tied up with some organizations, local level organizations over there, and they have started a reusable cloth pad making unit. So it's like, there is scope for us over there to start our work. It's not that it's not a blank slate for us.
Right.
There is awareness.
Yeah.
There is definitely some kind of government support over there with
Right.
respect to reusable cloth pad. Means it's completely sustainable, and it just goes along with our ideology, because we also upcycle fabric to make our underwears. And we just need to make it available in their markets. That's the only challenge for us as far as Nagaland is concerned. So,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Preeta, tell me, what is it that got you into intersectional feminism, and when did you start believing in it, and how come this journey, was it destined, or did you happen to?
After graduating, I spent a decade working on the field, and wherever I went, whether it's a small town in Madhya Pradesh, or whether it's a tribal block in Orissa, or
Yeah.
whether it's a rural border village in Rajasthan, the issues of women are common everywhere. They don't have access to good health services. There are so many taboos that they are surrounded with, and it seems like any health issue that they flag is going to be kind of given the least importance, or maybe you would just have to try to do some magical ritual or something in order to get rid of it. Somehow women are subjected to the magical religious side of things. It was weird. So I observed these common issues that women have all over the country, and that's what made me realize that why don't we intersect all these issues together and bring
Yeah.
it to a common platform. So yes, that's how my journey was.
How much does a product cost?
So our products, they start from are around 200 to 250 bucks. We've tried to keep, so since it's a certified organic product, it has been upcycled from dead stock from export houses. It's made in an export quality stitch because it's made in an export house, so it has an export quality stitch. And it's completely certified under GOTS and Fair Trade, which are the certifications for organic and fair trade factories. So depending on that, we still didn't want to keep it at a very high cost, because we want to make sustainable products, accessible to
Affordable.
masses, at
Right.
least to to the everyday shopper, you
Right.
know. So that is why it starts with that, and then there are packs, so you get a lot of discounts. So there are packs for 300 bucks, sure, 400 bucks. It just goes on like that.
Who would you consider as competition for a brand like this?
Well, currently there isn't any upcycled underwear as such in the Indian market. So we are the first to do it here. So I'll be very honest, I don't take them as competition, because I'm really very happy that this whole sustainable market and sustainable consumerism, conscious consumerism has started finally in
Right.
India,
Right.
because it's in a boom outside, and that's why so many products get exported. Organic cotton gets exported from India. So why don't Indians get to enjoy the premium product? That's my question. So I'm happy that we finally have commenced on that journey here.